All right, so today is Wednesday, November 18th, and our assignment today is to take the data you have from your water cycle experiment, create a data table, and then create a graph of your data and create a graph of your averages of your data. So I kind of wanted to step through that really quickly. Monday, you spent time creating 3 different data tables so that you had that practice. And then yesterday, Tuesday, you spent time creating 3 sets of graphs that were just graphs of the data and then graphs of average so that you practiced and you had these skills and you knew what to do. Um, so this will be a really quick tutorial on what you need to do. Make sure you check Google Classroom and the directions that I posted on Google Classroom along with any links. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new sheet. And if I just go to the waffle, there are sheets. And it should open sheets for me. I'm going to open a blank one. So I click the plus blank. As soon as my computer, there we go. So I'm going to title this. The directions say that I need to title this. Okay, so I need to title this. Here we go. All right, here we go. It's not going to let me do it because it's still working. So your experiment, whatever you did. So we're just going to generically call it water cycle experiment. Okay. All right, so what you need to do is in column A, the videos that you watch said this is your independent variable. So I'm going to pretend that I did a plant experiment that has nothing to do with water cycle. I'm going to study plants, and I'm going to call this condition of light. Notice I capitalized. And I'm going to say that this is full sun, and this is shade. And I'm going to do 3 trials. So 1, 2, 3. And what I'm measuring is the height of the plant. So we're going to say this is average height of plant. And I'm going to measure it in centimeters so I don't have to do fractions. And if you notice, first off, I've got some text here missing. I've got this text going over multiple columns. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit number 1, and I'm going to text wrap and format text wrapping wrap. And I'm also going to bold it. And then I'm going to click A, and I'm going to bold that. And if this is too long, any of this is too long, I'm going to text wrap that also. Okay. I know that I'm going to have that cell and that cell filled in a moment. So I'm going to highlight from the bottom to the top, and I'm going to hit this little window pane that says borders and hit all the borders. And then at the same time, while it's highlighted, I'm going to go over here and hit center, and it is all centered. Oh, this is not bolded, so we're going to hit bold again. There we go. All right, so the first day, there was no plant growth in full sun. The second day, there was no plant growth. Actually, no, I'm sorry, there was. There was 1.5 centimeters. And the second day, there was actually 3 centimeters. Okay. In the shade, there was no plant growth the first day, no plant growth the second day, and the third day, there was 1.2 centimeters of growth. Okay. Notice I don't have any alpha characters, any letters in these cells right here that I highlighted. They're all numbers. Okay. Please notice that these are decimal points and not fractions. All right, so what I need to do next is I need to find the average, and I demonstrated this and showed you on Tuesday, but if you need to remember, I'm going to click the cell where I want the average to go, highlight it, and then I'm going to go over to this funky E, it's an epsilon, and click the down arrow and hit average. So I've just told the computer in that cell I want it to calculate the average, but it now needs to know what needs to be calculated. So I'm going to highlight these 3 cells because I want the computer to add those three together, divide by 3, and put that number right there in that cell. So once I've done that, I hit enter. And lo and behold, it found the average for me. Yippee skippy. Now, I don't have to go through that whole process again. All I have to do is click that cell again and see this little blue dot? All I have to do is drag it down 1, and it should find the average for me. It is not. Let's try it again. There we go. And there is the average. Okay, so now I've got my data. I've got everything centered. I've got the first line, the first row bold. I have the first column bolded. Everything's spelled right and everything is capitalized. So now it's time to make some graphs. So the first graph is I just want the raw data. So I'm going to click D3 and drag all the way over to A1 and make sure that that's what I want my graph to look like. And it is. So I'm going to hit this little graph icon. It says Insert Chart. Now the computer is going to take a stab at what kind of graph I want. Let's see what it picks. There it goes. So it picked a bar graph. It calls it a column chart. And let's see. I've got 3 pieces of data, 2 blue and 1 red. Yep, that works for me. Okay, so next what I have to do is I take a look at the title, and it says full sun shade. That is not a very descriptive title. So I can double click here, and I can start typing in a title. So I could type in the testable question. What's the effect? Let's do that. What is the effect of light? Okay, so first of all, we need to capitalize. What is the effect of light condition on plant height? Question mark. Okay, I can change the text color, I can center it, I can do all kinds of things. Let's go down here to the x-axis. 1, 2, and 3, is that condition of light? It is not. Those are the trials, correct? So if I double click, it should turn blue. Yep, and I'm going to type trials. Capitalized, spelling correctly, hopefully. Alrighty, and it looks like I still need a y-axis. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to Customize, and Chart and Titles, and change that from horizontal to vertical. And it's blank, so let's see that. Those numbers, that's the height of the plant, right? Height of plants. And I did it in centimeters, capitalized, spelled correctly. So it looks like we're probably pretty good here. All right, so I'm going to click it. So there's dots around it. I'm going to move it over here to the side. So now I have to make one more graph, and I have to make the graph of averages. And if you remember, I cannot click this column and then go over here and click this column because the other one turns off. So I actually have to hit the control button and highlight what I want. Okay, and how you highlight makes a difference. Sometimes I have to highlight from the top down. Sometimes I have to highlight from the bottom up. Sometimes I have to highlight E before A. So I just have to play around with this until I force the computer to do what I want it to do. So we're going to try this and see if it works. So I want it to graph. So insert charts. Let's see what it picked. Holy samole. It actually should just have 2 bars because there's only 2 numbers. So it actually is reading something I don't want it to read. So I'm going to delete this and I'm going to try something different. So I'm going to click so everything's unhighlighted. And so let's do the bottom, top. And I did the average first and then the light. Let's see if that will solve the problem. Aha, it did. Lucky guess. But I don't have a title. I don't have X and Y axis labeled. So if you notice, it's lit up and here is its menu. I'm going to go to Customize. I'm going to go to Chart and Axis Titles. And right now it's on vertical, so it's the y-axis. So that is the average height of plants in centimeters. Alrighty. Oops. Let's choose title. Chart title. So let's say this is average height, try to spell it right, height of plants versus amount of sunlight. Okay, and then I need to get to the x-axis. That's the horizontal. So the horizontal axis, those two conditions are the light conditions, right? Spelled correctly, capitalized. The only other thing that needs to happen is I actually need this blue bar labeled, and I need this blue bar labeled, like right here underneath. And off the top of my head, I do not know how to do that. So I'm going to have to go and start clicking through all of this stuff and see how I can make those names, those titles come back on. Okay? So those are a graph of the regular data, a graph of the average data. Here is my data table. So once you have this done, you're going to actually go to share and share that with me so that I can grade it. And what I've done is I've included a rubric on Wednesday, November 18th, I believe. Yeah, Wednesday, November 18th, along with the directions and this video. I have also posted the rubric on how I'm going to grade this. I hope this helps. If you have questions or problems, come and talk to me, please.